What up, everybody? It is Andy Smith and Dennis Turner, the DNA Show. We are here with the movie review. We left you hanging last week because, guys, we had Heroes Con, and this was the movie that came out last week. Well, we finally got to see it today. This is Tuesday, and we are in the car. We just got out of it, and there you go. And I will say, Aaron Taylor Johnson is in this movie, and I had no idea from the trailers. Every trailer I saw, I'm like, well, there's got to be a star in this movie somewhere, right? And it's him. And there's another star in this movie that was never seen in the trailers either. That I was like, I looked over Dennis. I go, is that who I think it is? And he's like, yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. I also knew nothing about going into it. And hey, all I can say is I was kind of excited, but I never did. We did not go back and rewatch the first two. It's been a lot of years. And I'm like, no, let's just watch this one cold. If it's really good, maybe I'll go back and rewatch because I own them, the first couple, and then do it. So this is straight out of the movie, our reaction of it when not watching the original movies. This one starts off with a group of survivors from the original rage virus that's still going strong. They live on this small island, it's been quarantined. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors.
Oh, so basically, this was really totally not what I expected. The basic gist is, it starts off kind of like when the virus first hits, then it goes 28 years later. Okay. And like Dennis said, it's on an island. Aaron Taylor Johnson plays a father of this kid that's like 12 years old, named Spike. His mom is ill. And basically, uh, Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's like a rite of passage, takes the kid out, takes his son out to the mainland. There's this causeway that when it's low tide, they can walk across to the mainland. And obviously, when it's high tide, that keeps the ragers at bay. And he takes them out, and basically, it's kind of like a rite of passage thing. Like, oh, you're old enough now; you got to kill some of these things. Let's see how good you are. And and when that was going on, I'm like, okay, well, that can't be the point of this movie. What is the point of this movie? And the point is basically the boy's mom, Spike's mom, is ill, and he wants to try and help her, and finds that there's this doctor on the mainland, and that's the thrust of the movie is the 12-year-old taking his mom to go see this doctor, and of course there's pitfalls with the ragers along the way.
Yeah, to me, it felt like it was like a couple of different movies almost, and with different premises, and they kind of slapped them together into one. And I didn't know how I felt because at the beginning, it felt like the first time I went deer hunting. It's your, like Andy said, it's your rite of passage. It felt like that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. They're on there, they survive it, they make it back. Dad, though, he has faults, and the son, for the first time, sees his dad's faults and realizes he's not the man that he thought he was. And
Right,
that was an interesting premise because it is kind of I need to come of age kind of a movie, and
right.
that's one of the premises, and it was very well done. The music, the score, everything in there, it was interestingly done. I really enjoyed that. But then when he winds up having to take his mom to the mainland, the movie takes a complete 180, or maybe you call it a 90-degree angle that you're like, well, damn, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
And it's a completely different flick, but I enjoyed it.
And
Go
okay,
ahead.
well, I was just going to say there's these, and I like calling them ragers, the infected that basically they're almost like prehistoric man. They're because it's 28 years later, so there's a lot on the island that are just running around naked. There's a lot of schlong in this movie, guys. Um, and there's a few that are just like really strong in the movie as well. And it's pretty primal and savage, which, yeah, you could say the first ones were that way too, but the first ones, 28 days and 28 weeks, it's pretty close to when it happened. So you weren't seeing a bunch of these naked, raging men and women running around tearing through the few people and stuff.
You could almost say that they've developed into a type of society.
Oh, totally.
And
Yeah.
it is an interesting take on it. And there's one guy, he looks very much like Jason Momoa. He winds up playing one of the alphas. And the alphas are these infected that are not just strong and smart, they have other abilities, and they can't be taken down almost. They're incredibly hard to kill, incredibly strong, but they're like the leaders of the pack, like you would think of, like you said, it's the old cave people. Well, he's the strong one. He'll knock everybody else into it, and they all listen to him, and he communicates with screaming. So it's an interesting concept. I will say I had no idea. Alfie Williams is the kid that plays Spike.
He was great.
I never heard of him, and he carried this entire movie.
Yeah.
So this is another movie where a child actor has come on and was completely able to carry the entire thing on his shoulders. I loved his acting. I loved his range of emotions, being scared, having to step up, getting angry, getting sad. He covered the entire gambit. He was fantastic. All the characters, even the surprise ones, we're not going to mention who they are because this is kind of a fun surprise. But what interesting characters they wind up with. This is not the movie I was expecting to walk into. And in my mind, they have left this up for a complete reboot to the series that'll take it off into a completely different direction.
What I was going to say is, and I never expected to say it about a 28, days, years, whatever later movie franchise, that this movie had heart.
It did.
I was like, are you kidding? What? I'm not supposed to feel like this during this type of movie? What the hell?
Yes. There was emotional parts on different ends, and I was like, I just was expecting raging zombies kind of thing, and but it wasn't.
It's funny because I wouldn't be, because this movie is so far removed in real time from the last one that came out before it, right? And it really wouldn't surprise me if, like, the producers of it, and Cillian Murphy was actually one of the producers, it wouldn't surprise me if they thought, you know what, all this Walking Dead stuff, the thing that Walking Dead is missing is what happens this huge amount of time later, right?
Yeah, because we always want to know what the origin is, but will there be an end, or what's going on after this large gap?
Right. And you almost think like these guys were like, you know what? Let's do 28 years later, because then we can really dive into how they've, kind of morphed or transitioned or whatever. And that's something, because The Walking Dead is almost trying to do like a real time thing in a way with their spinoffs and stuff. They really haven't done. I mean, The Walking Dead, last I remember, is they did a 10-year time jump, but this is like 3-decade time jump. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I did too. I'm surprised at this, but let's give this the review so that people can go see it in Europe.
I'm up first. I'm going to go with 8.5 right out. 8.5. I really liked it. I could actually watch it again just to try and pick up on maybe some things I missed now that I know what is going on compared to, because the trailer does a good job of like misdirection, just leading you down that path of going, okay, cool, it's going to be fighting zombies and stuff again, but you don't know what the overarching story is from at least that first trailer.
Well, I'm giving it a 7.5. I think it was really enjoyable. I think I agree with you from the standpoint, I think I could watch it again. but I'm gonna, if I do it, and my daughter and niece probably will want to watch this with me. We're gonna go sit down and watch the first two, and then watch this one,
Yeah.
and then I'd see my reaction. But just straight out of this movie, I'm giving it a 7.5. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was gonna. It was a different type of movie. It's a definitely a recommend to see, and it's worth seeing in the theater.
Totally.
IMDb, let's see, they are giving it a 7.2, and there's already 27,000 reviews.
Wow.
So that's actually a solid one with a Metascore of 76. So that is really good. And the Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, which are the critics, whoa, critics are giving it a 90%. Wow.
What?
I would have never expected that for this type of thing. The audience is giving it a 65. So
Wow.
that's not anywhere that I was expecting. So anyway, we're kind of in the middle of that, but there you go.
Damn. Well, guys, go check it out. One thing I didn't expect to walk away with this movie is having penis envy over that big thug of a rager. I was like, holy crap. In life, that dude was probably getting all the ladies. I'm like, damn, son. Whew. That was crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
We
All right.
got through the review.
Almost got through it, but I can't. This week, we're going up to Garden State Comic Fest in New Jersey. If you're there, come out and see us. That means this is the review for the week. We'll try and get back to them again next week. Until then, tomorrow on the DNA Show, special time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern with Mark Holton talking about his new project. Join us then.
That's right.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Live long and prosper.
You know it.